guess what I just found out about this morning? There's this thing called EFT tapping. I know, right? Sounds kind of weird, but it's actually a stress management technique. And boy, does it come in handy on our crazy days. I practiced it before starting my work today, and I have to admit, my stress level felt noticeably lower. Could be all in my head, but hey, if it works, right? Oh, and speaking of things that work, do you remember Lucas's doodle stress relief? He's still onto it, can you believe it? Uh-huh. He mentioned it when I shared about my EFT tapping experiment with the gang earlier today. Emily knew what I was talking about, though. I swear she should have been a psychologist or something, always on the ball with these things. And Carlos, well, he thought EFT tapping was some sort of rhythm. Okay, now picture this. Lucas, out of nowhere, asked why we don't feel ticklish when we tickle ourselves. What? I know, right? Our chats are never dull, I'll give us that. I never thought about our brains and tickling. I mean, it is fascinating, isn't it? How the brain can anticipate certain things, and that changes our reactions. But hey, if nothing else, it could make a fantastic trivia not many people would know about. Better hold on to your seat now because here comes Lucas's shower. Thought of the day. Drumroll, please. He wondered why we can't tickle ourselves. Boy, was that a wild goose chase, but you want to know what Carlos and Em came up with? Apparently our brains anticipate it. Mind blown, right? I mean, aren't illusions just the fascinating side of neurology? Have you watched The Lost Symbol yet? Well, Em has been binging on it, and she asked if any of us have seen it. Lucas, bless him, still has it on his watch list. And Carlos, oh, he's forever moaning about his endless watch list, whatever that means. But on my recommendation, it should totally be on your list in case you genuinely have some free time. Got to admit, there's something gripping about it. Oh, and guess what Emily promised? Burgers. If only technology could teleport food, right? Missing her burgers big time. Her homemade sauce is no less than a legend. And Lucas. What a unique chap. Can you believe he was planning on drawing burgers to ease his cravings? That's one way to respond to hunger, right? Anyway, I better get going. Lots of work to catch up on before the weekend. So, try out EFT tapping and let me know how it goes. Catch you later. So, I've been experimenting with my mornings even more, if you can believe that. Found this virtual mindfulness workshop online that I tried today. I mean, I'm pretty good at zeroing in on my Zen, but this workshop, honestly, I was a tad surprised. It really soothed me down more than I thought it would. It felt like all the noise within me was toned down. It's crazy how much a little bit of Zen can do. I guess a little peace and quiet in the morning really helped to kickstart the day. Isn't that kind of magical? I mean, who would have thought that an online workshop can actually make such a difference? But it's made my day so much smoother. Or at least, it feels like that. I shared this with Emily, Carlos, and Lucas, you know. And Emily was all for it. You know her. Always on a hunt for these self-help things. Carlos, bless him, instantly asked if it was better than a morning cup of joe. Can't help but love Carlos, right? And then, oh my dear Lucas, straight out the gate, said he's feeling distracted these days and could use some, I quote, Olivia-style Zen. And can you guess what his distraction was about? This one was unexpected even for Lucas's standards. He asked us all if we had seen the latest Banksy artwork. I mean, Banksy's great and all, but perhaps someone needs to tell Lucas that there are better times to discuss it. But you know how he gets. Carlos chimed in, saying he wished he had time to check out art these days. I feel him. We all could use a 25th hour in the day. Speaking of the gang, you know how our chats near mealtime always evolve into talks of food, and this one was no different. Emily was thinking about baking lasagna, and guess what Lucas and Carlos suggested? Add more cheese and sauce. It was like a couple of culinary wizards struggling to prove their dominance. Seriously, if Carlos had his way, He'd probably drown the world in cheese and call it perfection. I mean, I love cheese, and I'm all for adding more sauce, but poor Em. I can see her now, drowning in buckets of cheese and tomato sauce. To escape the cheese saga, Carlos asked for Netflix recommendations, in his infinite quest to ward off boredom. So we spoke a tad about The Queen's Gambit, Black Mirror, and just like that, the cheese chat turned into a Netflix fest. You remember The Queen's Gambit, right? Well, at least Carlos took the recommendation to heart. He has a Netflix binge planned. Good luck to his endless watch list. Oh, I almost forgot. Emily's folks seem to be having a burger fest coming weekend. I do wish we could join them, especially for those legendary burgers smothered in her homemade sauce. Now, how good does that sound? Lucas got so excited about it that he was contemplating sketching out burgers, beguiling, really, his hunger-provoking creativity. All right then, I've had quite an adventure-packed day already, so now it's time for my signature-by-the-hour work, as Carlos calls it. I hope you give mindfulness a try, and do let me know what you think. Continuing from where I left off yesterday, can I just say, going to the vineyards was so worth it. The Hamptons are just beautiful this time of year, an artist's paradise. The vineyards were like a sea of grapes, just miles and miles of green, lush grapevines. I even got a mini education on how to select and pair wines. Who knew there was an art to picking the right bottle of red? Picture this. So, I'm there at the wine tasting, surrounded by acres of lush greenery, and what do I find myself developing a taste for? A delicious Cabernet Sauvignon. That's probably why I took a bottle, or maybe two, back home with me. When in Rome, right? Remember Carlos's golden rule of wine tasting? Always purchase the wine you taste. Lol, he was quite chuffed to know that, and I quote, finally someone following my excellent advice. The whole vineyard escapade was a nice palate cleanser after a hectic week, and it gave me a chance to step back and just relax. On another note, did you get around to watching the new episode of Stranger Things? Emily dropped that bomb in our chat during the drive back. No spoilers from me, of course. I'm lagging behind since I missed all the action yesterday. Going to catch up tonight like a proper binge session. Adele just keeps raising the bar, doesn't she? I mean, her new song. Wow. Lucas had thrown it into the chat, and Em and I were both all ears. It's like she just pours her heart out through her songs, isn't it? Oh, and apparently our group chat might soon turn into a binge club. Yes, you heard it right. Carlos, leave it to him to come up with the weirdest, funniest stuff. Suggested we print no spoilers, only Netflix on t-shirts. How hilariously random is that? But then again, you know our group. We roll with the crazy, don't we? Carlos, being Carlos, is already envisioning this going viral. Haha, the dreams that man dreams. Just another day in the group chat. But knowing us, we may actually get those shirts, at least for the kick of it. But, as I made it very clear, only if they come in black. You know how I love my blacks. All right, things are winding down for today. And let's be real, we both know I'm about to tuck into that bottle of Cabernet Sauvignon. I've truly earned it today.